questions in the break. So I've got to go home with lots of homework now and ask my animals what the answers are to the questions. But because I had so much I wanted to tell you, there's a few things that I didn't. So when our animals pass away, they go through a healing process on the other side. Human souls do as well. But once they've gone through the healing phase, they seem to get physical healing first. So any animals that had particular issues before they passed, when I see them, they show me themselves in their physical body, even though they don't have it anymore, and they're running around like young kittens and puppies or whatever animals they are. They've had that healing. And then they can come back and visit us on an energetic level. So some of you may have felt your animal coming to visit you in spirit. And so you can actually feel them. They can generate enough pressure. You can feel them jumping up on the bed and walking up, snuggling in next to you. I've had people where they can feel their animal pat them on the face. Sometimes they vocalise. So my girl, when she came back, used to meow, and then I'd know she was there. Your other animals will know when your animal in spirit comes to visit because they're so sensitive to those frequencies. So if your animals are suddenly staring at something on the wall and you can't see anything, your animal is there for a visit. So you can feel them. Sometimes you can see them. And I've had so many people tell me they've seen their animal running up and down the corridor. And to me that doesn't make sense because they don't own that physical body anymore. They're a soul in spirit that's come to visit. And they haven't explained how they do it, but somehow they put on a temporary physical body so that we can see them and recognise them and know they're there. So that we can feel them, we can see them, and we can hear them, so meowing or barking or making whatever noises. But they can also be very creative in how they let us know they're there. So one of my clients, her dog in spirit comes to visit her through her doggy door. Nearly gave Mum a heart attack the first time because she could hear it going bang, 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 but no dog there. Very interesting. Another mum, her cat comes and sits up behind the blinds in her bedroom window and wobbles them, and that's what she did when she was alive, and it makes the most awful noise. So again, scared her when she heard it for the first time, but they're now used to the fact that that's the animals coming back for a visit. I've got another person I've spoken to whose dog used to smell like popcorn, and so she smells popcorn in the house when the dog comes to visit, so we can scent. You know, they can have scent to let us know that they're there. So they grieve for us when they're on the other side. They didn't want to leave us any more than we wanted them to leave. So for them, it's lovely coming back because it reassures us that their soul has transitioned safely and that they're still safe. But they get time to come back and spend time with their family as well. The other thing they've taught me, as well as that, and as well as the reincarnation when they come back in a physical body, is that they can soul swap. And I didn't know anything about this until one of my friends was telling me that her cat in spirit, that she was really missing, she was getting a visit from her neighbour's cat, and the neighbour's cat wanted to come into the house, and the neighbour's cat wanted to come in and sit in all the places that her cat used to sit and wanted to have cuddles with her. And so we worked out that they were doing a temporary soul swap. So the soul in spirit was coming, negotiating with the neighbour's cat, go and have a cuddle session with Mum, and when they'd finished having a cuddle session, that soul would go back to spirit and the neighbour's cat would come back. And now I've had that happen again with another client. The dog that's about to come back for the 4th time in a row comes and visits his mum through his sister dog who's alive. Now the sister dog doesn't bark, but he will come and swap into his sister dog, come and sit in front of Mum's knees, stare up into her eyes and bark. And he does that nearly every afternoon. And so that's his way of physically connecting with Mum until he's ready to come back in his new body. And again, I knew nothing about this, so I just learn all of this new information all the time from our animals. So it's just amazing. So if you do have an animal in spirit, we can't force them to come back and visit us, but we can invite them. So we can ask them to come back for an energetic visit, or we can ask them to appear in a dream or a meditation. And I've had that happen, and I've been able to physically pick them up, and I can feel them, I can hold them, I can feel them breathing, I can hear them purring. So it's really real. They can connect back with us during that way. So I'd suggest all of those things. There's also some crystals that can help with going through the grief process. and essential oils that can help support us, but also support our other animals as well while they're going through the grieving process. And the other thing that I was going to talk to you about was astrology. Now, I don't know if anyone here is an astrologer. Do we have anyone in the audience? No, I've never studied astrology, but I met a really interesting lady online who I interviewed for my podcast because she actually did an astrology chart for her cat. And I didn't realise, but in our charts there is a section for animals. There's also a section for what we've learnt in our past lives and what our lessons are for this lifetime. And there's also information about our life purpose. But she took that one step further and did the chart for her cat. So she can see how her cat is connected with her. Her cat loves crystals. And I said, can you tell, was he a healer in a past life? And she could see that in the chart. So I've just recently had a chart done for me and the cat who's on the front of my book just to find out why we're together. And it's interesting because a lot of planets in my chart are opposing each other. The lady said it's a seesaw pattern, so I'll have some in one chart here and planets here, planets opposite, planets here, planets opposite, but I've got houses with nothing in them. He's got planets in the houses to balance what I'm missing. I've only got one fire element. He's got more to balance that out. And he's here as a teacher for me. But she said in my chart, I'm here to be an animal communicator and particularly to work with animals in spirit. Hello, it's exactly what I'm doing. And I just think it's amazing. It's written in the stars. It's in the chart. I was actually born 3 weeks overdue. I didn't want to come out. I think I knew what I was coming back to. I was determined to stay inside. And so I've been born on a completely different star sign than what I should have been. And interestingly, I'm born on the feast day of the Egyptian goddess Hathor, and I've always had a fascination with ancient Egypt. And it's also the feast day of the cat goddess Bastet, and I've always had a fascination and affinity with cats, big and small. So it literally is written in the stars, but it's so interesting that the information about animals is in our charts, and we can look at what's in our animals' charts as well. So that's just a little something that you may not have heard of before. Now, I did say to Michael that I wasn't going to do actual communication sessions because that's what I do in my business, and I've got to tune into the animal, get their consent to have the conversation, and with all the volume of people here, we'd be here for ages doing that. But what I did offer is if any of you have got questions, like yes/no questions, I'm happy to do intuitive answers looking at photos of your animals. So if people want to do that, or if you've just got general questions that you just want to ask like we were doing before, it's however you want to spend this time now till we go and have afternoon tea. So we've got a lady with a photo here, so
Elise as well. You've got one?
I think everybody does it.
So put your hand up if you've
so
got
I
one.
don't know whether you all just want to stay and listen to everyone's questions or if you want to go and have your